Hello everyone, welcome back to my stream. My name is Brittany, this is the Brittany React Show, and today we have a few good stories to go over. I have to say, I feel like Hollywood's been a little slow lately. I know it's been 2 weeks since we've last had a stream. I'm sorry it's been so long. However, it's also been extremely dead as far as news goes. When I was trying to put together this live stream, I was like, what are even the biggest stories? The biggest thing to happen is the Jimmy Kimmel thing, but I'm not going to talk about that. And the Emmys, which we are going to talk about generally, but it's just not been really an interesting time for movies. There's really nothing to talk about that's super super exciting. So we're just going to have fun. We're just gonna make each other super excited about these things. I can already tell there's some Taylor haters in the chat. You guys are at home here. Um, yeah, we're gonna talk about the Taylor Swift movie. We're gonna talk about the fact that Taylor is trying to promote her new album with lyric videos? Question mark. We're gonna talk about, like I said, the Emmys. We're gonna talk about the fact that Warner Brothers is getting about to be sold essentially to look like Paramount, but now it's like Netflix is trying to get in the mix. So the industry is really changing and transforming. Also, as Rodney Dollar said, we will have a new trailer for Wicked on Wednesday. So I'm also looking forward to that. I also might, just a heads up, I might actually start doing some more shorts just because news is so dead. Naomi says the only news is just political. That was kind of my problem. When I was trying to put together this live stream, I was like, what can I talk about that's not political? Because there's been a lot of political news in the past 2 weeks, so it's been also kind of why I haven't had a live stream, because it's just been what do I talk about in the state of the world? Um, but anyway, Sunset Draws. It's okay that you have not seen the Emmys. That's totally okay. I didn't watch it either. In fact, I haven't watched most of the shows that got nominated, which is kind of what we're going to talk about. I did watch one of them, and it was the biggest winner of the night, so I find that to be interesting. Um, yeah, there is a boycott for Disney, but we'll see how long that lasts. I don't think Jimmy Kimmel will stay canceled for long. I think they will come to some sort of deal and he'll come back. Um, but yeah, like I said, lots of crazy news in the past 2 weeks. It was just it's just too much. It's just too much. But how are you guys doing? I haven't even said hi. Hi, Ethereal Dragon. Hi, Rodney. Hi, Alexander. Hi, Naomi. Hi, Nick. Hi, Sunset Draws. Hi, Casaram. Hi, Jow. Hi, Nick. Alexander. To each and every one of you who is here. Naomi, Rulu, Frelex, Stellaha. Y'all, some of y'all, I swear you have the username you do just because you want to hear me say something crazy. I love y'all. I do. But some of these names, what are they? But anyway. Sorry. I am really glad that you're here, though. I am. Hi, Joe Pedro. Like I said, I was gonna say, I'm thinking about doing some shorts more just because, there might be, a news story here and there that I really am into and I want to talk about, but it's not when Wicked comes out on Wednesday. Do I really want to wait until Sunday to talk about it? I might just make a short going over it, you know. So don't be surprised if you start seeing some more shorts. They're not gonna be highly produced, a lot of editing. It's just gonna be me talking. But if you're into that, look forward to more shorts. Yeah. A lot of you guys really do not like Taylor. I'm seeing so many comments in my chat of just people not talking about Taylor. So why don't we just go straight to that? Since you guys want to talk about it. So yes, Taylor Swift, she has a new album coming out. It's called The Life of a Showgirl. And she's releasing a movie for one weekend in theaters to promote the release of her album. She's going to debut a new music video. So you're only going to be able to see this music video, or at least for this weekend, and the theater. It won't come online until once the movie is done. And it's only going to be in theaters for 3 days. So if you want to be like one of the first people to see the music video, just have to see it, you can go here. Also, it's going to be lyric videos. Lyric videos? Huh? Lyric, I just feel like, who is going to go to the theater to watch lyric videos? Also, why would you charge your fans to watch lyric videos? Why would you charge fans to watch just one music video? I don't know. Like I have very complicated feelings about Taylor Swift. I have been a long time hater. I have, but my feelings about her today are a lot more complicated. I don't hate her. I don't. Um, However, I do feel like she is like a master PR manipulator person. Like I feel like the image she has to the world is like completely fictional, and I feel like her career has just been like a series of well-timed PR stunts that have like built and like coalesced around this narrative that she's like this larger than life celebrity. And as someone who's like a huge music fan, like huge music fan, I listen to music every day. I try to discover as many new artists as I can. I have never been, I've never quite understood the interest in her music. Like, I will listen to all sorts of music. Like, I love pop music. I listen to mainly pop music. But, like, I cannot get into Taylor Swift's music. It's just not for me. And, like, to see her be, like, so popular, despite I feel like she doesn't have the music to back up her popularity, it's just been, like, really strange. So that's, like, been my one gripe with her. It's just, like, I don't really understand the hype around her music. But the other thing is that I do feel like she has a lot of, like, really money hungry, like, cash grabby sort of, like, antics with her fans. And they seem to be okay with it. They're like, yes, please, make me spend more money on things I don't need. Like, I don't know. She has, like, a very weird relationship with her fans where, like, they feel like they have to spend money to validate her. And she's, like, a billionaire, like, almost two billionaire. Like, I don't know. I mean, this movie, I feel like, I mean, just based on the pre-sales, let's look at the pre-sales. They're only at 15 million. Which for something like this, you're probably like, well, that's pretty decent, right? Because, like, usually, you know, you're not just gonna make the money you made from your pre-sales, but like extra money after that, you know, once you get like walk-up business and stuff like that. However, because I've been doing this now for a couple of years, I remember like following the box office of the Eras Tour concert movie that went to theaters like a year or two ago. And I remember how like the pre-sales for that movie were also like gigantic, and was like breaking records that like Marvel movies hadn't been able to break. But then that was it. Like it didn't even open to 100 million domestically, but it was able to like break all these records with pre-sales because something very unique about Taylor is that she has like a really large niche fan base. I know that sounds like an oxymoron, but here's what I mean. Like, she has the white girls down, and I'm not meaning that disparagingly at all. I'm just saying, like, that's obviously her core audience, right? And, like, not just the white girls, but also, like, a certain type of girl. Like, she has, like, that niche audience, like, on a lock, right? But that's also not everyone and won't appeal to everyone. So, like, while Taylor Swift can break pre-sale records because she has a large fan base that will, like, all buy tickets immediately, That doesn't mean she has like a ton of fans outside of that hardcore audience. Because what happened with the Eras Tour movie is that, like, yeah, the pre sales, she did really well with pre sales, but, like, no one really bought tickets after that. It wasn't like a normal movie where, like, people start buying tickets closer to the film or, like, walk up business. There wasn't anything like that. Like, there was, like, almost zero walk up business for the Eras Tour movie, which is very rare. Which means that everyone who saw that movie pretty much bought the tickets well ahead of time because they were her hardcore fans. And I feel like this movie will be the same. I feel like this pre-sale number, I don't think the opening weekend's going to be much higher than that. Because that's what happened with the Eras Tour movie. And at least that was an actual movie, not just like lyric videos. She has like her dedicated fans that will always show up for her. Like whenever she says jump, they're going to jump. So like her initial numbers are always going to look really good. However, I don't think she has like, strangely enough, like, I want to use someone like Ariana Grande as an example because I feel like they're kind of contemporaries, right? I feel like, whereas Taylor obviously has a much bigger, like, hardcore fan base, I feel like Ariana Grande is more generally loved by the general public. Do you get what I'm saying? That's what I mean when I say, like, Taylor has a very large niche fan base that they will show up for her for whatever she does. But outside of that bubble, a lot of people, and I can see people in my chat who also agree, just like do not get it. And I feel like that is not the case for like a lot of other artists. I feel like this is a very unique thing to Taylor. So Deadline talked about this. They even said that the opening will not be anywhere near the size of the Eras Tour, given the 2-week lead to the Showgirls opening and the reduced ticket prices. Which, to be fair, the prices are cheaper, but it's also a lot less people just buying tickets in general. So even they're saying that, like, this isn't gonna break any box office records. So they understand that this is, like, not gonna be the Eras Tour Part 2, essentially. And I do think that part of that, as I've seen several people in the chat have brought up, like, I feel like she's so overexposed. Like, she said that she's taken a break. She took, like, a 3-month break. That's not long enough when she was everywhere for, like, 2 years straight. She needed a longer break. And I do feel like, again, the general public is not completely on her side. Because I think there's so many people who are just tired of her. So I think that's probably also why these pre-sale numbers are so much lower than the last time she tried to do this, movie event thing. So those are some of my thoughts on Taylor Swift. I know those are a lot of hot takes there. But what are your thoughts on this? Are you planning to see this movie? Are you a fan? Are you a hater? What are your thoughts? Selena, I agree. I also prefer Lady Gaga. I saw her in concert. It was amazing. Okay, drawing animations disagree. Okay. But Lily Hearts does agree. I love that there's like some people who agree, some people don't. That's fun. I know I couldn't get Ariana tickets either. I tried, but there was already like thousands of people ahead of me. I was never getting it. Oh, Nick says, I feel like the entertainment industry has been helping her quite a bit too. Like, there's no way she is this popular, yet she is. I think it's not the industry. I think it's just Taylor has a really smart, like, business acumen and a really great, like, PR team who know how to, like, spin things and, like, orchestrate things to make her seem, like, gigantic. And it helps. I mean, she has a lot of numbers to back up the claims. However, I do think some of it is not organic. And that is my hot take. Drawing animations, you think this will make $100 million? You think this is going to make $100 million opening weekend or total? I gotta say, I don't see either happening. I think it opens to maybe 20 million, and yeah, that's it. Because remember, this is only for one weekend. So you think this is going to open with 100 million opening weekend? I don't think that's going to happen. I'm sorry, but I don't think that's going to happen. Um, you said you love Taylor, but not as much as you used to. More of a Sabrina Carpenter fan. I like Sabrina. I do. I like Sabrina more than Taylor, but I'm more of like a. I don't know. Out of the new acts, I've been liking Cat's Eye the most, as you guys know. Um, Rodney says, I mean, I can see why Olivia is trying to capture what Taylor is doing. You talking about Olivia Rodrigo? You think she's trying to copy Taylor? You know what? I think there's some valid, statements to that. People were really comparing her to Taylor a lot in the beginning of her career. Honestly, I hope that Olivia goes in a more interesting direction, just personally. Lily Hart sees 30 million. Okay. Naomi says the only thing she sings about is her breaking up with men. It's definitely what she's known for, but like she's engaged now. So now I guess she's gotta sing about being engaged to a football player. I don't know. I actually saw the Beyonce Renaissance film in theaters, which I thought was pretty good. Um, oh, try hard and not genuine? Yeah, I can see that. Drawing Animation says Taylor doesn't do anything interesting anymore. I kind of feel that way too. Like, I feel like this whole rollout for the showgirl era has not been very interesting, in my opinion, but I'm not a Swiftie. But yeah, I think it's not going to do nearly as well as her last movie, but it's also not really a movie, so I guess that's fair. But I do think that this dramatic drop kind of does show, like, maybe some interest in her is waning. Anyway, let's move on. So, The Conjuring. The Conjuring is actually doing really well. I saw The Conjuring. I did a short about it. I said I was going to give it a review, so I'm going to give you a quick review now. It's about to become the highest grossing movie in the Conjuring franchise, which is crazy. The first Conjuring movie is still my favorite. I love the first Conjuring movie. I think that's just like a classic horror movie, period. However, I really liked this one. I know that not a lot of people, or I guess not everyone liked this. I think this movie was more controversial compared to previous Conjuring films. However, I actually really like this a lot more than the last one. I actually really did. I cried a couple times in this movie, and I don't cry in movies very often. I don't know why. Maybe this movie just got to me, but like, I did. I just felt like it was deeply emotional. Maybe it wasn't scary. Like, I guess if you're like a horror fan that just like really wants the scares, like, yeah, this one wasn't that scary. However, I liked the drama aspect. I cared about her daughter. I cared about the family. I cared about like what actually happened to the characters. Like, I liked the drama aspect of the movie. It wasn't just about like the horror. And I liked the horror too. Like, I don't know. I liked how practical it was. I liked I mean, it was creepy. It wasn't scary, but like it was a good movie. I didn't think it was bad. I think I've definitely seen a lot worse movies this year. Um, Honestly, out of 10, I'd probably give this film maybe 6, which is not terrible, but it's not like something I'm gonna like rewatch. But I don't think it was bad. Did anyone see The Conjuring? Do you guys like the Conjuring movies? Nick, you haven't seen it, but you want to see it. I would recommend it. I think it's good. Naomi saw it, and you also thought it was good. Oh, I'm glad, because like I don't know, I like it seems like the reviews and everything are so much lower, and I'm like, I feel like I saw a different movie. Um, yeah, it's good enough, I guess. But anyway, I liked The Conjuring. I'm still excited about this franchise. Yeah. So, also another franchise I'm still excited by is Spider-Man. So Spider-Man said that his new suit is actually inspired by Toby and Andrew's suits, which I think you can really tell. I said when we first got this first look that this suit looks a lot like Toby's suit. And now I can also see where it looks a bit like Andrew's as well. Um, I think this is the best suit that Tom's ever had. I really like the suit a lot. It makes a lot of sense that it's inspired by the two of them, considering they just met. I just think that this is like really cute and really nice. Are you guys liking this suit? How do you feel about the suit? Are you still excited by Spider-Man at all? Like, I feel like Spider-Man has, as I've said, transcended the superhero genre, where if you could be like totally uninterested in comic book movies now but still be interested in Spider-Man. So are you guys feeling that way, or are you feeling like you don't care about this either? Um Starry says, I liked it, but it was good, but did expect more demon shenanigans. Oh, you're talking about The Conjuring? Yeah, I mean, it wasn't super scary. That I'll give you. But, like, I liked the drama aspect of it, I guess. Seems like not many of you have comments about Spider-Man. Are you guys just, like, you don't care? You guys are still talking about The Conjuring. Or maybe there's a delay. Okay, Static says, definitely better than Tom's other suits. Yeah, I actually did not like Tom's other suits. Especially the one where it had, like, the light blue on it. I hated that one. I hated that one a lot. Um... Oh, Alexander says he doesn't look college age. He looks like a full-grown adult. I think he looks college age. Although he definitely looks more adult than he used to. Tom Holland had a baby face for a long time, and it feels like he finally grew into his face, which I think he looks very handsome. Um, but yeah, he definitely looks like an adult now. Nick says, gotta go to work, but I love your show. Have a great day. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat. That's really, really nice of you, and have a great day at work. Um, you're waiting for the trailer, so some of you are still not sold. That's not good for Marvel. Not good at all. Speaking of Marvel, Avengers Doomsday has wrapped filming. Of course, there will be reshoots later. There's always reshoots. But the main bulk of photography has been completed. Now, I have a lot of questions about this because, you know, we kept getting reports about how they hadn't finished the script, how, like, there were so many actors who didn't even know, like, what was going on, what the story was. So I know so here's what the current plan is for how to film Doomsday. What they were doing, in case you missed the last stream, they're like, for a lot of actors, they're just like filming not really like set scenes, but they're filming like potential scenes. And so they'll have like what's the guy that plays Nightcrawler, because he was the main one that was talking about this, how he was like just like in front of a green screen given random lines to talk to about various things, and he had no idea who he was talking to or what about. Like, so they're basically like filming a bunch of potential scenes, and then they're going to like put it together in an assembly cut, and then like try to figure out how to turn what they filmed into a movie. And then they're gonna do reshoots to try to like smooth things out and fix things and like make it seamless so it doesn't look like it was shot that way. So that's what they're doing. And to be fair, Marvel has done that before. However, this feels like an extra bad example because I swear they still don't really have a set ending. And I bet part of the reshoots will be to like film the ending. Because we were just hearing like not that long ago that they had not finished the script. And I honestly doubt that they have, because the reason why they can't seem to figure out how to finish this movie, allegedly, I guess, is because I think that they don't know how to move the MCU forward. They know the MCU is struggling. They know that people have lost interest. They know that they're not where they used to be. And they need Doomsday to revitalize the whole MCU and get people interested in what's happening next. But they don't know what's happening next because no one's interested in anything. The rumor was that they wanted what's next to be like to focus on the Fantastic Four, but like the Fantastic Four just flopped. So I don't think they're really going to do that. They made the Thunderbolts the new Avengers, but I don't think they're really going to go through with that, seeing how that movie flopped even worse. So I think all their plans are like, they're not sure anymore because they're like, oh my god, none of these characters are clicking. What are we going to do? So I think they're going to like have a very rough assembly cut of this movie and just like figure out where they are with what they have. And then they're going to try to figure out how to finish this later. That's what I think is happening here, based on like everything that we've heard. And honestly, there's been just so much drama around like the behind the scenes of this movie. Like we heard about some fight that happened on set. We heard like there's just like so much like so many rumors around like Robert Downey Jr. taking over the movie and being a bit of a diva, which I mean, are we not surprised? Um, Ryan Reynolds was teasing that he'd be in this movie at one point, but now it's like looking like he's not going to be. So it's just like there's a lot going. I like I said, I wish I could be just like a fly on the wall of one of these like shooting days, just to like see what's actually going on, because I bet it's crazy. Sunset Draws says I thought filming was starting. Actually, it started in April, so it's been going for quite a few months now. Lawrence A says if this boycott continues, they will have a couple of flops. Well, like I said, I don't think Kimmel will be permanently gone forever. I think he will come back. Will people still boycott even when they bring him back? Do you think? Or do you think this was like too far for some people? That they're just like anti-Disney forever now? I don't know, because I really don't think this will be like a thing for that much longer. Ethan Bell says, I still think Avengers Doomsday has potential to be a massive disaster. Oh, yeah. I think so, too. I think this has, like, potential disaster written all over it. I mean, they're coming after a string of flops. A general public interest in this movie, this franchise, could not be lower. I mean, the fact that we're even questioning if people care about Spider-Man should just tell you, like, how in the dumps Marvel is right now. I would even say Star Wars is in a better place than they are right now, which is saying a lot. And the reason why I think that they're just like doing that badly is not because like I think that all their audience is gone, but because they have cornered themselves into like a hard place where they need Doomsday to make like 1.5 billion plus and have good critical reception and audience reception in order to like have hopes of like revitalizing this franchise. And that is like putting so much pressure and money into just one movie. Like, talk about putting all your eggs in one basket. Like, that's what they're kind of being forced to do here. And like with that amount of pressure and scrutiny and like the way they filmed this, like, if we get anything that's even coherent, I think that would be a miracle. But we'll see. Are you guys excited by Doomsday? Will French says, I still have people saying it's a shoe-in $1 billion, but I have my many doubts. The thing that makes me feel like it could still make $1 billion is that there are going to be a lot of cameos in this. Like, I've heard some of the rumors about some of the characters that are going to be in this. I don't know if I want to spoil it, but you guys probably don't care. Let me know in the chat if you guys care about any of these kind of rumors. And I feel like some of those cameos could be such a big deal that it might drive attention. However, there are some like cameos and like people who are rumored to be in this movie that I'm like, even though I love this character, I love this actor as this character, the fact that you're throwing them in to like this weird multiversal like cosmic soup where that version of the character is never meant to exist, it almost feels like jumping the shark, and it kind of breaks the illusion for even the characters that I really like. So you guys don't care. I don't see one person that says you care. So the main person I was thinking of was Tobey Maguire. I've seen a lot of rumors that they want to bring back all the Spider-Man again. Well, the Spider-Man minus Tom Holland, crazy enough. So, like, I love Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. As I've said, like, he's the reason I got into superhero movies. Like, I was a child when those, movies came out. It had a massive impression on me. Um, like, I loved Spider-Man brand new, or No Way Home. Yeah. Because I got to see, like, those actors again. And, like, I don't know if I want to see him in this movie. As much as I love him, as much as his movies have been so impressionable for me, like, seeing him fight Robert Downey Jr. as Doomsday, like, with Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, it's just like, he feels out of place, because it's like, that's not where Tobey's Spider-Man was supposed to be. Like, it just feels like jumping the shark to me, and I love the X-Men. I do. But also they've brought back the X-Men like several times, and like I feel like the excitement of that for me is gone. Like we had that with Days of Future Past, right? When they brought everyone back. That was supposed to be like the big thing. And now they're doing it again. So it's like I love this, but I'm also ready for new X-Men. I want new actors in these roles. So I don't know. Do you guys think it will make $1 billion? Let's see if I can oh no, I can't. Sorry, never mind. But do you guys think this will make $1 billion? Naomi says superhero fatigue. Ethereal Dragon says a storm even in this. I mean, nothing is confirmed, but I'm willing to bet she is, at least for a little bit. Muda says you're over Toby too. Oof. Robbie says they're gonna kill a lot of these OG characters. See, you know how in Multiverse of Madness they had like Charles Xavier and like all these big cameos and whatnot, and then they just like killed them in gruesome ways immediately. I felt like that was so disrespectful to the legacy of those characters. Like that's what I'm worried about, that they're going to ruin characters I actually do care about. So like I'm nervous about that. Denisha, you think this is only going to make 500 million? Cheetah Viper says it will be lucky to make 600 million? Y'all are predicting doomsday for the entertainment industry. Those are like doomsday for Hollywood numbers. That's terrible. I don't think it's gonna do that badly, y'all. I do think that there will be enough like characters in this that people will care a little, and like I just don't know if it's gonna get to like 900. You know what I mean? Like Multiverse of Madness numbers where it doesn't make $1 billion but it gets close. I can see that more realistically than like $500 million. That would be. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're just spending $500 million on this movie. That would be cataclysmic, really. Not just for Marvel, but really the whole industry. Jordan says 800 million globally. I think that's more realistic. What? Michael says you think it'll be lower than 500 million? Y'all, I need y'all to think practically and not with your, you just hate Marvel hearts. Lily Hart says the movie will get 700 million at least. I think so. I think that's the floor. I can't see less than 700, and 700 would be bad. Yeah. Jordan says anything under $1 billion is a flop. I think, yeah, that's true. However, I think that's a real possibility. Honestly, technically anything under 1.5 is likely a flop because the movie's just that expensive. And if you guys know, for Avatar Way of Water, I think James Cameron was like, yeah, it needed to make like somewhere around 1.5 billion just to break even because it was that expensive. Thankfully it did. But I think this movie is going to be just as expensive, if not more. And so I can see the break-even point being around the same amount. So I think anything below 1.5 will technically be a flop, but we'll see. Stellaha says, How did Deadpool make 1 billion last year? As you guys know, I don't like that movie. I think it's also like very cynical and like lore breaking. Um, However, the movie still did it really well because there were so many cameos. That's why I'm thinking like the cameos might still help Doomsday since they helped Deadpool. I think the cameos and all like the random people that are going to be in this movie, I think are really going to help save it. Would you guys want to see it if like Chris Evans as Captain America was in it allegedly? Like, would you guys care then? You know? Rodney says you refuse to watch Deadpool 3. It's really not good. I honestly genuinely don't like that movie. And I'm not like a bandwagon hater that didn't like it later. I didn't like it when I saw it. Um Ethan Bell says Avengers Doomsday will probably do okay domestically, but I can't see it doing great internationally. That's honestly, Ethan, that's a great point. That's honestly what I'm more like nervous about with this film is because like we've seen both with Fantastic Four, really all the comic book movies that come out this year, but even like the DC ones like Superman. The international numbers are terrible. Like Superman actually did pretty well in the US, but its overall numbers aren't great because it did terribly internationally. And I'm really wondering if like overseas if people are even more fatigued by superheroes than Americans are. I mean, my international viewers, are you guys feeling like people are done with Marvel totally where you are? Because you're right, this movie could do well domestically and still like flop internationally like the other superhero movies. Like China. I honestly don't think China will care about this, and China used to be a huge part of Marvel's success. So yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I'm kind of curious too, Salahal. I'm like, I'm gonna watch this just because I'm too invested in the Marvel mythos at this point, but also because I'm like morbidly curious to see how this movie actually turned out. Um, but anyway, we'll see what happens with Doomsday. I have a lot of worries about that one. Now, Marvel continues to do a lot of really random things, and as I've been saying, like, I really think that as soon as AI video gets high enough quality, I think we're going to be seeing Marvel use a lot of AI. I know a lot of you, or at least some of you, have been like upset that I've said that. I've seen a lot of people push back against that because I've said multiple times that like I think Secret Wars, by the time they get to Secret Wars, I think they're going to end up using a lot of AI for the visual effects on that one. I think they'll even use AI for some of the visual effects on Doomsday, if I'm being honest. Because if you look at what's happening in like the image editing space, there's a lot of advancements recently, and I can see them using that. Also, I think I've mentioned this before. One of the Russo brothers, I believe it's Joe, is on the board of Runway AI, which is an AI video software company. So like the Russo brothers are like very pro AI. In fact, I'm pretty sure that Electric State movie that they made was about like making people like AI more. Um, and the reason I bring that up is because like here's another example of Marvel being like really like okay with AI usage. So at LA Comic Con, they will have an AI Stanley hologram that will speak to guests. Yeah, that's the future we're heading in. You want to talk to a dead guy who's hopefully would have been okay with this? Um, yeah. How are you guys feeling about this? How do you guys feel about Marvel potentially using AI now and in the future? Because I definitely think it's going to happen if it's not already happening. Um, yeah, Lawrence, they've already used it in marketing. They used AI. Do you guys remember for Secret Invasion? The whole like intro was AI, and that was back when like AI video was terrible. Like they were very quick to use it even when it wasn't even good. Um, you think you're good without that in your life? I mean, Stan Lee liked being with the fans, but I don't know if this is something he would want. Michael hates it. Sunset says no. Ronnie says this is Terminator, but worse. Yeah, I mean, this is the future we're heading into, so buckle up. Um, Also, just going off of the whole like Marvel decline theme here, a talent agent says that a client joining the MCU is still a crazy life changing opportunity. Sorry. I had something in my throat. I was trying to like fight that this whole time. Um, a top talent agent says that clients basically aren't like asking to be in the MCU as much as they were 5 years ago. That's basically what they were saying here. And I'm not. I mean, how can you be surprised? How can you be surprised? Why would you, in good faith, want to join the MCU as a new up and coming actor right now? I mean, you're risking a lot. Look at Florence Pugh. I'm using Florence Pugh as an example here because I'm sure she regrets joining Marvel at this point. Florence joined Marvel back when, like, people still had hope and faith and optimism for Marvel as a brand. Like, remember the first thing that she was in was that Black Widow movie. She even said in an interview that she joined because she was like, oh, I'm going to get to be in a movie with Scarlett Johansson. That'll be really good for me. Fast forward, and that Black Widow movie was like Marvel's first disappointment. I mean, I know it was pandemic and all of that, but like it didn't do that great in theaters. And then the follow up to that, which was the Thunderbolts, also flopped. They don't even have COVID as an excuse. And she's locked into a contract where she has to be in like so many movies. But now the MCU isn't nearly as popular or successful anymore. And now she has to star in flop movies like Thunderbolts. All because she wanted to work with Scarlett Johansson. So, like, you don't want what happened to Florence Pugh happen to you. You know what I mean? Like that girl from Anora. Like, I know a bunch of franchises were probably trying to ask for her. And she was like, no. Like, I feel the same way about Star Wars. Like, why would you join Star Wars at this point? Like, I think it's very likely going to hurt your career unless you're Diego Luna. Like, he's the only one that seems to have really benefited from that. Or Oscar Isaac, who I haven't seen in a minute. What's Oscar Isaac doing? He needs to be in more movies. Honestly, Oscar Isaac, I saw a tweet once that was like, Oscar Isaac is who Hollywood thinks Pedro Pascal is, and I could not agree more. Like, I have nothing against Pedro Pascal. He seems like a nice guy. However, I do not think he's like this super hot, like, guy that I'm just gonna go to see a movie of just because he's so attractive. Like, I do not think he is that guy, in my opinion. I think Oscar Isaac is much more attractive and, like, kind of fits in that same lane. So it's just, like, one of those examples, and we're gonna talk more about this when we get to the Emmys, actually, where I'm just like, I think Hollywood is just like in a separate bubble of what they think is cool than the rest of us, because I think that just becomes more obvious by the day. Oh, Natanya, Pedro gives you the ick? To be honest, he did when that whole, like, he needs to touch someone when he has anxiety thing came out, because I was like, that's such a weird thing. But apparently, Vanessa Kirby seemed okay with it, so I was just like, alright, I still think that's weird, but at least she's fine with it. But yeah, I can understand getting the ick. Ethereal Dragon says, I would still be willing, and both. I'm willing to play random faceless grunts. What? Oh, Stellaha! You know people who will see something just because Pedro is in it? Well, that's great. That's really good for you guys. However, I don't think there's, like, a ton of you, because he hasn't really had, like, a hit movie. Not even Fantastic Four was really a hit. I think he's more of a TV actor, in my opinion. That's a hot take, sorry, but that's my take. Yeah, I don't understand why Disney hired Jared Leto for Tron. That does not make any sense to me. That's another one of those Hollywood decisions made in a bubble, completely delusional to what's happening outside of it. Yeah, I don't get it either. But anyway, moving on. So you know what actors are excited to be in video game movies. Video game movies are becoming the new superhero movies, and they're becoming like the new like. Just expect every video game to be turned into a movie or a TV show eventually, because I think that's what we're heading into. I just want a Detroit Become Human show. I want a Detroit Become Human HBO show, and I'll be happy. That's all I want. But anyway, we're getting a Super Mario Bros. Sequel. It's called the Super Mario Galaxy movie. It comes out in April 2026, which is super soon. April 2026, super soon. Like, I did not expect this movie to come out so soon. I thought it was going to come out in, like, years. Like, this is really a quick turnaround for an animated movie. I'm actually impressed by this. Are you guys still excited for the next Super Mario movie? Do you think it'll do as well as the last one? I don't know if it'll do as well as the last one, but I still think it'll do well. Especially because we don't get a lot of, like, kids' movies. So I think this will do okay. But what do you guys think? Ronnie says Super Mario Bros. 2. Yay, it'll be a billion, but yeah, I hated the first one. I liked the first one. I feel like if you played the game at all, and I did a lot when I was a kid, like, it's just like the game, but brought into, like, a movie universe, which is, like, I think anyone who's played the game really asked for. It's not really like a movie with, like, you know, plot and, like, a strict, you know, story or whatever. It's just kind of like, here's the game, but in a movie universe. And I think that's all we asked for. Oh, Michael, you'll see it in theaters. Okay. Natanya thinks it will do well. I know I can't believe it was 3 years ago the last one came out. It does not feel that long ago. Time is weird. Time is very weird. It's speeding up and I don't like it. Does it have the whole month of April to itself? I think I remember looking at the 2026 movies, and I think, like, the beginning of the year was pretty dead, right? Which, I hope not, but I feel like that was the truth. But anyway, I think it'll still do well. People like this game. It'll do fine. Now, let's talk about some more business, because, like, as I said, the music industry is in quite, not music, well, yeah, the music industry, but this is not music. The movie entertainment industry is in quite parallel. Parallel? What is the word? Pandemonium. Sorry. The entertainment industry is in pandemonium. That's what I was trying to say, but failing. People aren't going to see movies as much. People aren't even talking about movies as much. Movies are not like the cultural center of the universe anymore. A lot of people, especially young people, are preferring to, like, just scroll on social media or watch streamers or YouTubers or whatever. So it's like not the whole industry is really struggling, and to help themselves, a lot of them are merging and trying to, like, combine to essentially take a more market share, because they just feel like they have to do that to stay competitive. And Warner Brothers is one of those companies that has been honestly bought and sold, like, a million times. It's not doing too hot, even though it's actually doing very well at the box office this year. Generally, like, it hasn't been doing very well, especially, like, last year. So they're basically trying to, like, get themselves sold, because they don't have the money to really, like, compete long term. And so Paramount is a company that, or at least one of the companies that is preparing to bid on Warner Brothers, or in fact, I believe they were offering, like, a cash number, like, just pure cash, which is crazy. So it's the Ellison family. They're the ones that are, like, that want Warner Brothers. So this would be really big for them. This is really big for Paramount, and honestly, low-key embarrassing for Warner Brothers. Because in my mind, I always had it in my head that, like, Warner Brothers was, like, the much more, like, pristine and prestigious studio than Paramount. And now I feel like that is either flipping, or I don't know, it just shows you how far Warner Brothers has fallen, that, like, Paramount could buy them. But also, What's even worse, in my opinion, is that Netflix is reportedly considering placing a bid as well. So we could have Netflix versus Paramount going for Warner Brothers, y'all. And I cannot tell you how much I do not want Netflix getting Warner Brothers. Because that means all Warner Brothers movies will now go straight to Netflix. Do you want to see the next Superman movie on Netflix? Because that's what'll happen. They might have like a limited run in theaters, but it's not going to be a long run because they don't like doing that. Do you want to see like all the Warner Brothers movies like go straight to Netflix? Like, do you want that? I don't. I think this is depressing. I think this is this should be terrifying for movie theaters. If I were a movie theater owner, I'd be like, this cannot happen. But yeah, that's just like the sad state of the industry right now. Like the fact that Warner Brothers could be bought by something like Netflix, and there's like nothing like that can be done about it because they desperately need to be sold. I mean, that's just sad. I mean, to be honest, like Warner Brothers problems have been going on for so long that I remember when I was in college, I took like a media history class. And like when we got to the modern era, we were talking about Warner Brothers and how it just gotten sold by like AT&T or something like that. So like it's it's been like a long time of like Warner Brothers going through all this. So I know that the workers there have to be tired. I'm sure they're worried because this could also lead to a lot more layoffs and a time when there's not a lot of work. So this is just a really bad thing all around. But what are your thoughts on this? How would you want Netflix to own Warner Brothers or Paramount, or how do you feel about this? Lily Hart says no, 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 and hell no. Imagine watching DC movies on Netflix, y'all. That's the world we could be living in. Like what? Um. Um. Ronnie says, I mean, the last must-see movie of the year is for Wicked. Yeah, for me, it's Wicked and Avatar, because I like the Avatar movies. But, yeah, as someone who makes content around movies and stuff like that, I'm finding it harder and harder myself to find things interesting enough to even talk about. You know, like, I'm hoping you guys are enjoying the show today, but, like, there's not really like a ton of huge news to go over, as you can see. But I'm trying to make it interesting and fun for y'all. So like it's getting hard. It's getting rough. And honestly, I've been like, even though I've only been making content since like 2023, I feel like I've been in this sort of like geek entertainment nerd space for like a lot longer than that. And I can already tell that like just interest across across the board from like several YouTubers who are in this space are like just seeing a decline in like viewers and interest. And I don't think it's them. I don't think it's the creators' fault. I just think that like there's just like a general lack of interest in this stuff now. And I think that's really bad for everyone. Michael says he prefer Paramount to get it. I do too, because I don't want all those movies going to Netflix. Disney will never buy Warner Brothers. They cannot do that. I mean, I know we supposedly have anti-monopoly laws, but I really would be shocked if that it just can't happen. Disney does not really have the money to do that, and also they're too big. It can't happen. Rodney says, I mean, didn't HBO Max remove every episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog? Yeah. Rip Courage. Lauren says they have better quality shows and the money to invest in Warner Brothers properly, and they have to team up with several releases like F1. Yeah, I know Warner Brothers has a lot of good IP. Warner Brothers is a strong company. Well, as strong as far as like having a lot of good IP. But I don't want to see all that IP go straight to Netflix. Like, that would just be depressing for me and for the whole industry. I just really do not like that. Oh, Lawrence, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Did you watch or enjoy Demon Slayer or Him? Thoughts? No, I didn't. I'm sorry. I haven't seen those. Should I watch them? Are they good? I'm kind of interested in Him. Is Him good? Please let me know. But thank you so much for the super chat. Story Kitsu says the state of the Western entertainment industry is sad. Yeah, it really is. I was actually just watching a documentary. Was it last night? Where I was talking about the state of the industry currently and how, like, do you guys remember? I don't know if you guys have ever seen like videos of like how the lots used to look with people walking around in costumes and like key grips and lighters and crew people, like people. There used to be tons of people walking around just generally on the sets of these lots, right? I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie um, Big Fat Liar. It's a really old 2000s movie. I loved it when I was a kid. But in that movie, they kind of show like Hollywood, a time of Hollywood where like there was so much production happening in the entertainment industry, and people were walking around, and as he was like walking around the set, and it was just packed full of people. But in this documentary I watched about Hollywood today, it's empty. Apparently, all the studios are like, just empty. Like you can walk around and there's just no one there because either people aren't filming there or just less things are being filmed generally. It's really sad, like very jarring, like obvious, like death of the industry there. Um, him was awful. Oh no, don't watch it. Okay, people are saying don't watch it, but Demon Slayer is good. Okay, maybe I'll check out Demon Slayer. Has anyone seen Big Fat Liar? Do you guys know what movie I'm talking about? Am I showing my age? Um, anyway, let's move on. So this movie I'm actually really looking forward to. So this says, so live action Sims movie will be inspired by the Lego movie and Barbie. You guys know I love the production design of Barbie. I made many videos talking about that. And I think more movies need to go in that direction. And I love The Sims. Sims is like my favorite video game of all time. I used to play The Sims like all the time. And I used to watch like a lot of Sim content, like people who like, play the game The Sims. Like I watch a lot of Simmers on YouTube. So like I'm here for a Sims movie. I love The Sims. And The Sims in the style of the Lego movie. So we're talking about like a not hyper realistic, but like a hyper reality sort of like play world type thing. I think that would be so cool. I think that would be really cool. I think that The Sims would be perfect for that kind of branding. Honestly, I think The Sims movie could be big if done well, because a lot of people have played The Sims. It's another game like Mario where it's just like almost everyone has played it. Um, so I think The Sims movie will do really well, especially if this is the direction they're going in. But what are you guys thinking about this? Are you interested in seeing a Sims movie? Lego Batman over the Lego movie. I like both, but I have to say I like the Lego movie more. I know, why aren't they doing The Sims 5? I'm so upset about that. Like, I feel like they're just like letting the game die? Or they just think people are gonna play Sims 4 forever? Like, that's just so disappointing. Ronnie says, I mean, when Margot Robbie produces, it's sometimes a good thing. Yes, that's true. However, like, people really did not like that Birds of Prey movie, even though I liked it. So I think, honestly, I feel like me and Margot have very similar tastes as far as, like, what I like to see in movies. Because I liked Birds of Prey, loved Barbie. I'm really excited for this, um, the Jane Austen movie she has coming out soon. I love the direction she's going with that. So like I feel like I understand Margot's taste. Maybe not everyone else, but I get her. I hope they do speak Simlish. They should have like where at the beginning of Avatar: Way of Water when they kind of show like how they're speaking Navi, but like it's really what we're hearing is English. I hope they do that, where we see them like speak Simlish at the beginning of the movie, and it's like, but you're hearing the English translation. I think that would be fun. Um, Oh, you hope they make the movie more for adults? I think they will. I think this can be like a good family friendly movie. I don't think this needs to be for kids. The casting will be fun though. I hope they get creative and they don't just cast like Jason Momoa and Jack Black. I like both those actors, but I want someone new. But anyway, let's move on. So like we have the Emmys. I remember when I was telling you earlier how like Hollywood really has a bubble and they don't really understand what's popular outside of it. I think the Emmys is a perfect example of that. Because what show got the most Emmy wins in 2025? The Studio. And I actually have seen The Studio, by the way. I watched it because I like watching like behind the scenes content on like what Hollywood is like, so I'm interested. So I watched The Studio. I liked it, but I did not think it was like amazing, worth 13 Emmys. In fact, it broke the record for the most Emmy wins in a comedy show's first season. That, again, I liked the show, but like I didn't think it was like that amazing. And I think the reason why, if you don't know what The Studio is about, it's about Seth Rogen, who plays a studio executive who has to like make movies and navigate Hollywood as it is today. And like obviously if you're interested in like the behind the scenes of, you know, how what's going on in Hollywood today, like this is a very interesting show. But it did not do well in the ratings. Like no one really watched it. I don't think it ever showed up in Nielsen. Like this is very much a show that just appeals to the filmmaker audience because it's about them. And the fact that it got 13 wins is just so like, I'm just gonna pat myself on the back. And so like insular. Like I just feel like this is like such a perfect example of like how Hollywood, their taste is really just about what they like, and it's no longer about like what is actually something that registered with the broader public. Like I feel like they're like becoming less and less concerned with that, and I think that's actually the wrong way to go. Like the reason why Hollywood is seen as elitist is because they act elitist. When you give something like The Studio 13 Emmy wins, when it's just like a moderate comedy, but you like it because like all your friends were in it and it makes fun of your industry, that just makes it seem like your tastes are so insular. Like it's like all just like an inside baseball club. Like I don't know, like just see, even though I liked the show, I did watch it, I liked it. I just find the fact that it got 13 wins to be ridiculous and really indicative of like how out of touch Hollywood is. But what are your thoughts? Did you watch the Emmys? Are you surprised by how many any of these shows got? I mean, Andor got 5. I guess that's good for Star Wars. Arcane got 4. Love, Death, and Robots, which I love, got 4. The Boys only got 3, and I loved The Boys. I think The Boys should be getting a lot more attention. Like, the fact that Anthony Starr has not been nominated, crazy. Crazy, crazy. But they'll give the win to freaking Seth Rogen for The Studio, but they won't even recognize the work that Anthony Starr is putting in. Like, that's the kind of stuff where I'm just like, what are we doing here? Yeah, I mean, a lot of these shows are like not even like huge hits. Like The Studio isn't, The Penguin isn't, um, The Traitors really isn't. I mean, most of these aren't. Like Hacks isn't. Like, I think these are just like the shows that the industry likes, to be honest. And Wednesday season 2 would be on next year's, not this year's list. But yeah, that's all I really want to talk about for the Emmys, because I didn't watch it myself, because I've only seen a couple of these shows, to be honest. Um, but like, I just felt like, even though I watched The Studio and I liked it, I do not think it deserved 13 wins. I think that's crazy. Now, oh wait, that was it. Is that it? Oh, it was it. Oh, I thought I had one more. No, I don't. Oh well. Anyway, that was the end of the show. Thank you all for being here. This was a lot of fun. Sorry, it's been like 2 weeks. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to be there next week yet because I'm starting a new show. But I will let you guys know and ahead of time. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing more shorts. I might do a thing where like I start making more shorts and then only do like a live stream when like there's a good amount of content to talk about. So we'll see. We'll see. There might be some changes coming, but we'll see. But thank you all so much for being here. This has been a really great show. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys next week.